Hey everybody, Todd here at ESOTERIC again, and have an interesting subject for you, particularly those that have been around this industry for a little while. How has the industry changed? How are we different? How are things different? How do we look at things different than what we did back in the early days? Now, those of you who've been following us for a while, you know that we started this business officially back in 2009, which is when it was officially or legally established as a company. Started doing it 2-3 years prior to that. Been messing around with it a long time. And like a lot of people back in that day, it was just me, one man show. You know, you work on one car a week or one car a weekend. And at the high level of detailing, high level of paint correction, there really weren't that many people out there that were doing it. And for us, it was easy to stand out in a crowd. You know, you put yourself out there, you get some good information, you get great photography, your before and after, and all that. You know, you stood out amongst the crowd really, really quickly. Now, move forward a couple of years, our current headquarters we're in, I moved into in January of 2012. And it was a shared facility at that time at an independent Ferrari mechanical and restoration shop. And then I operated out of one bay in the back, and you know, grew that a little bit over time. And you know, a few years later, they moved out and took over the whole place. But you know, both esoteric and as an industry back in those days, it was really, you know, that more, let's call it a European model, in one person working on one car at a time and showcasing, you know, crazy levels of details that you're doing. I mean, you know, when you're getting in and doing a paint correction on, you know, door jambs and stuff, and taking out tail lights just to clean behind them where nobody's going to see. You know, that got a lot of ooh and ahs, and that created a lot of buzz around, you know, what we do, and you know, had a lot of people shipping in cars from all over the country. You know, stuff like these, you know, Ferraris around us here. That was a regular thing that we were working on. Coatings were just starting at that time. It's all about 2010 or so. You started seeing some stuff coming into the country. And at that time, it was just the real high level, you know, people like what we were doing were playing around with coatings and getting to learn them. And, you know, the early stuff was not easy to work with. And, you know, but we got to work with a lot of interesting stuff. We got to work with a lot of companies on product development, feedback, and get, you know, products on cars out there where we can monitor it over long periods of time. Even on personal cars. I mean, my poor wife, her car was always a test vehicle, and coat it, let it sit outside for a year just to see how it does. But once again, it was still a relatively small industry and a small amount of higher level details that were out there. You know, when I started Esoteric, part of it was because there was nothing around the greater Columbus area here that did high-level detailing like I would have wanted as a consumer. You know, there's some people doing a little bit of paint protection film and window tint and stuff, but not really the paint correction and ceramic coating. So, you know, we led the way in that part of the business. And as we started to grow and started bringing on some more people, one of the big things was paint protection film that we started doing. And you know, we had somebody at the time that we had as a subcontractor come in do film for us, and I thought that was great. Shoot, I didn't have to do anything but, you know, make the recommendation to the customer. I do all the rest of my thing on the car. Somebody else comes in, applies paint protection film to it. I make $500 off of it, and you know, that just significantly increased the profitability that I had on that one particular job. And then one year, I think it was about 2013, I sat down at the end of the year and I looked at all my financial statements and all my information, and I was like, I'm doing how much in paint protection film, and I'm not even trying. So we decided to bring it in-house at that time. Shortly thereafter, I hired one of my current business partners, Dan. He had attended my detailing class, and he moved from the West Coast, and he was going to be in charge of getting the paint protection film department up and running. I did all the paint correction and detailing. Dan did all of the paint protection film and helped me out with the detailing side. So he had a big weight on his shoulders to bring our paint protection film up to the level that we were known as a detailing company. So we started, doing through that, and we're growing, and we were hiring and training more people. More people came along in the industry, started doing similar type stuff. And we were one of the first companies out there that really had a really nice detailing facility with white floors and white walls and white cabinets and great lighting, and we always had amazing cars in. So it was pretty easy to stand out in a crowd at that time. Then we got into doing a lot of videos. Dan and Zach, who started working for us right after Dan did, and Zach came on to be a partner in the business as well. Those two guys were really pushing me into doing video. So we started videos, started YouTube. At the time, once again, there weren't that many people out there that were doing it. And it was kind of easy to stand out. And we did, 600 videos or so over time on everything from how-tos to project cars to product testing, product reviews, and everything in between. And as we were kind of caught up in doing all that, it's easy as a business to kind of get stuck with your blinders on. You're only thinking inside your own four walls, and you're not really paying attention to what else is going on around you. And despite that, we were growing like crazy, and we were adding people, and we were adding customers. You didn't really notice some of the changes going on in the industry and the amount of people that were coming on board. And we did our product division, we had our detailing division, we had our training division as well. And all those things kept us super, super busy. Then, you go through the years and you get into the early, pandemic, and, like a lot of people, we had to stop and figure out who we are and make sure and protect the company to ensure that we're going to be there for longer periods of time. So I had to do what a lot of people did. We had to let some people go. We had to, tighten everything up considerably and find our way to add value to our customers. And we were in a great position. We didn't have to close down during the pandemic. And then, like a lot of people, we grew considerably, 2021, 22, people were spending like crazy. And once again, you have all that business coming at you. It's easy to forget to look what's going on out in the rest of the world. And despite the fact that we kept growing from a service perspective, we kept growing like crazy. Our product sales, kind of flattened out a bit. And earlier, or in 2024, this is February 25 at the time of this recording, but later in 24, we stopped and we looked back and like, okay, let's really evaluate where we're at. What has changed? What's different in the industry? How are people going about doing things? And we were surprised how much had changed. Everybody and their brother popped up on the scene as, detailing and paint correction. Ceramic coating made it super easy for people to jump into the business and really know anything about it, but they know they can make some good money by installing ceramic coating. So there's a lot more competition there. For the longest time, there was maybe 3 of us in the country doing a training, and then you do a Google search, it's like, wow, there's 24, 36 different people who are doing training, and a lot of them, they're just starting out. They're seeing it as an extra way to make money. So you don't know exactly what their level of expertise are. And the same thing with paint protection film. So many people wanted to get into the market, and especially here on a local basis, oh, we do the same thing ESOTERIC does, but we do it for cheaper. My answer to that is no, you don't. If you were doing the same thing, you wouldn't be doing it for cheaper. But we noticed a change there. We noticed a change in how people were shopping for products. Some of the manufacturers, we worked years working with a lot of manufacturers, stuff that we brought into the country originally and build up the brand. And then, find out they just went direct onto Amazon, and that started taking away from business for the traditional, resellers. Guys like us and Phil at Detailer's Domain, and Phil's been a friend for a long time, great guy, I really respect him. It really changed things the way that the product distribution was going, And we found, like with the videos that we were doing, we were teaching people how to use it only for somebody else to get the sale. And it gets expensive producing videos. I mean, for the longest time, we had a full-time videographer here on staff. That is an expensive thing to do. And when you do that, only to find people taking your videos and just go and find it for 10 cents cheaper. Or we looked at the analytics of the videos, and we found that so much of it was overseas. Resellers overseas kind of using our videos or our content to sell their own products. So that was a little bit of a rude awakening that we went through, when you realize that kind of stuff goes on. And then also the difference, with like content creation. Everybody and their brother, not just talking about this industry, but everybody and their brother is a influencer or is a content creator. When in reality, so many of them, they don't necessarily have the experience or the skill set to do it. They're good in front of a camera, or they're good at editing or something to get their information out there. So it became much tougher to get great information out to people. And what people were looking for. For videos, people loved our how-to videos and all. And I don't know how many times I read comments that, like, hey, people are sleeping on this channel. This is the best ones that are out there. But we found, we could get 20,000 views out of a great how-to video, but somebody does one on cleaning up a filthy, disgusting, dirty interior, and they get millions of them. So what? People simply looking more for entertainment than they are the actual educational aspect of what detailing is. And then, with Google and the SEO type stuff, even on websites, it became less of what you were saying or how you were pulling people in, and it became more of how Google saw your information and pulling people in. And that's tough as a creative business owner like myself. I want to write good content. I want to tell people about who we are, what we're about, what makes us different compared to everybody else, our experience, our knowledge, our dedication to quality. But, if Google doesn't pick that up, nobody's going to be able to read it. So on several fronts, the industry just became so different based off of the control of information. The Amazons of the world, Google, SEO, how you're doing videos. Are you creating a crazy clickbaity type titles and thumbnails to your information? Are you going out there and spending 30 minutes to bash a bunch of companies just to try to pull people in? Once again, I've talked about it in a recent video that we did, that's not who we are. That's not how we operate. So, yeah, the industry has changed a lot. And as a business owner, I would say one of the big bits of advice, for you, if you're starting off a detail business, if you're starting off whatever kind of company out there, is pay attention to what's going on around you. Look for new trends. Don't necessarily follow the trends, but be aware of what's going on. We were always kind of slow to adapt. I'd rather set trends than follow trends. Never really been a big follower in that respect, but still keep yourself aware of what's going on so that you can make some changes or make some adjustments to your business accordingly. Especially if you're doing really well in business, that's when you need to have to pay even more attention because that's when it's the easiest to blind yourself or go like this and not pay attention to anything that's going on out there, because it's just like, yeah, business is great. I got all these customers coming in. I got all this stuff going on. But while you're doing that, you may be missing the opportunity to react to changes in the marketplace. So what do I see from here with the business? It's hard to say on the let's call it the digital side of the world what's going to happen, content creation. how Google's going to work, the impact that Amazon is going to have. I mean, we're on Amazon right now. We launched our own product line last year after years, and it's done tremendous for us. But when we saw, all of the manufacturers that we helped build up go to Amazon to sell more than what we're doing, we thought that we need to do the same. We need to be part of that game as well. So yeah, it's hard to say what's going to happen with those. As far as a detailing company, not a whole lot of places out there that really just specialize in detailing. When I say detailing, I mean paint correction, interior stuff, leather care, ceramic coatings. Paint protection film is where it's at. If you're not doing paint protection film, you're completely missing out. I think now we have got, 12, 14 PPF installers on staff, between our main retail store here, our store up in Cleveland, people that we place within the dealerships to do work. We've got a lot of people, and if we had more space and more lifts, we can get even more of them up and going. So yeah, you have to be behind that. The ceramic coating thing is going to be interesting because everybody and their brother has got a ceramic coating out there. The dealers are selling ceramic coating or ceramic coating similar kind of products. And I've seen this one changing over the years. I said at the beginning days we only had a couple of them, and now anybody can go in to a blender and create their own brand of stuff. It's just repackaged other stuff that's out there. So there's nothing really innovative about it. You're going to continue to see crazy claims on what the ceramic coating will do, what it'll protect from, how long it'll last, and that's a big one. So for us as business owners, we do the right thing and tell people the reality of what ceramic coatings do or how long they actually last. But if we've got 20 other people in our market that just don't have much experience with ceramic coatings and they're only going off of what the manufacturers are telling them, then that can send a confusing message out there to the consumers, and we have to battle that kind of stuff every day, and we have for quite some time. So that's gonna continue on. Are there any major breakthroughs coming with paint protection film? I don't know. I don't know how much further we can go, at least for now. I mean, yeah, to be able to spray on a paint protection film, that would be fantastic. But reality of something like that happening, I doubt that's going to be the case. But as long as the majority of the industry is doing a good job of educating customers with truth, with realities of what products are and what they aren't, then there's going to continue to be a lot of demand for it. But if it continues, people saying that ceramic coatings, bullets will fly off of them, and your car is now scratch-proof and it's going to last for 10 years, well, as soon as that person goes out and the car gets run through a car wash or something that's all scratched up, they're going to be like, hey, I just wasted a couple $1,000s on this. This didn't do what I was told. It did the reality of what that product is capable of, but they were told a little bit different. So that's a concern moving forward in the industry, is that kind of messaging that's going out there and how it could potentially taint the customers. Paint protection film continues to go strong. Window tint will always continue to go strong. The biggest fight that you have on that is the people that they go and buy the absolute cheapest product on the market, slap it on a car, for $200 or something, and that just hurts the industry because it's not a good quality. I mean, we've all pulled up behind cars at a light or something, you see all the bubbles in the back window of it. Well, that's a cheap window tint. I tell people here at Esoteric, we fix cheap window tints, we fix cheap details, we fix cheap paint protection film installations, because we see a little bit of everything out there. But I think at least for us to be successful moving forward, or to continue to be successful moving forward, is stick to our course. When I started this company all those years ago, it was going to be about quality of work, here we are obsessed with quality to make it as good as possible, and we will always continue to do it that way. It's the easiest way to stand out. The level of professionalism that we treat our customers with, our interactions with them, everything else, that's huge. And the whole customer experience, making it a really good experience with them is going to help keep the customers. And now, if you look at kind of where we are from a economic standing here in February 2025, a lot of aspects of the economy is good, but people still are very cautious about it. And we've seen a pullback in spending, like many areas of the world or many industries. So now to keep customers, particular, for us, we're kind of like a stereo shop in that it's a want-based business. It's not a need-based business. You don't need to do full correction and paint protection film and ceramic coating and stuff on your cars. You want to protect your investment. And so now we're competing anywhere that people can go out and spend their dispensable income that they have. So it's that much more important that we stick to our guns, to be really professional and to have a very, very high level of quality that goes along with it, and the education of the people of what makes the difference and how to take care of it from a long-term perspective, so they get their most out of their investment in our services. Obviously, the car's an investment. Our services protect the investment. The work that you do afterwards then protects that investment. And you take great care of people, and they're going to continue to come back, each year and each car and everything that they have. Okay, so I've rambled on for a long time and started off talking about where the industry was and where it is now. It's exciting to see it all. Yeah, there are an awful lot more players out there and people, trying to scratch to get whatever kind of dollar they can. Some people are good business people. Some people, not so much. They just kind of muddy up the waters for everybody else. So I'm still just as excited about this industry as I ever was. I still get just as excited every single car that we work on, seeing the transformation when it's done. This 430 Scuderia back here behind us, we did all kinds of work, tore the interior out, had parts refinished, the back engine compartment, pull out all the carbon fiber, polish it up, look like brand new. That's exciting to me. When we can bring that level of happiness and joy to customers, so they can take their passion for their cars to a whole other level, that's just as fun. The fight is a little bit different now. Internally, it's different. Like I said, we've got over 50 people in this company, and I never got into this business to be a accountant, which is why we have an accounting staff in here. The problems are different now than what they were back then. I got to personally get my hands on a lot more cars back then than I do now. Now it's usually the ones that I choose to get involved with. But it's still a blast to do. It's still a blast to meet incredible people, customers. These car owners are really passionate about it. It's their love. We've made some amazing friends over the years in the industry, both from a customer perspective and from within the industry's manufacturers, other detailers and stuff that are out there too. So what's the moral of this story? I don't know. I just got in front of a camera today and knew the topic that I wanted to chat about, share some things, what we've gone through, where we think things are going. And for those of you that are starting out in the business, hopefully it provides you some great advice on some of the things that you should expect. All right. Until our next video, as always, we appreciate you hanging out with us here at Esoteric, and we'll look forward to seeing you in our next topic.